Your water heater is the second most expensive appliance in your house. The Department of Energy says you pay $400 to $600 a year just to keep water hot. Some of you pay more. We pay nothing, not a dollar, not a cent. We use a brass valve that costs $11, and a principle so simple the Romans used it 2,000 years ago. No electricity, no gas line, no monthly bill. And the reason you have never heard of it has nothing to do with science and everything to do with money. After the last video, many of you asked the same thing. You said, "What about hot water? How do you heat water without electricity?" So I am going to show you. And what I am about to explain is not complicated. It is not experimental. It is running right now in my kitchen, the same way it ran in my father's kitchen and his father's kitchen before that. Here is the number. Your water heater uses 17% of all the energy in your home. 17%. That is more than your refrigerator, your lights, your washing machine, and your dishwasher combined. The U.S. water heater market is a $4.7 billion industry. A.O. Smith, Bradford White, Rheem. These three companies control most of that market. They sell you a metal tank that costs $800 to $2,000 to install, lasts 8 to 15 years, and charges you every single month until it rusts out and you buy another one. My system cost $11 in brass fittings. It has been running for over 30 years. It will run for another 30. And the only fuel it uses is the same fire that already heats my house. Let me explain what this is, because once you understand the physics, you will wonder why every house in America does not have one. Hot water rises. Cold water sinks. That is the entire principle. Engineers call it thermosyphon, natural convection. No pump, no motor, no electricity. You take a wood stove, the same stove that heats your home. You run a copper coil or a water jacket through the firebox. Cold water enters the bottom of the coil. The fire heats it. The hot water rises through a pipe into a storage tank mounted above the stove. As it rises, it pulls cold water from the bottom of the tank back down into the coil. The loop circulates itself, continuously, silently, with no moving parts. The water in my tank reaches 140 degrees within an hour of lighting the stove. It stays hot for 12 to 18 hours after the fire goes out, because the tank is insulated. One fire heats the house and heats the water. 2 jobs, 1 match. This is not something we invented. The Romans heated their bathhouses with a system built on this same principle. Hot water rising through stone channels, circulating without any mechanical force. The principle is documented in Roman engineering texts from the 1st century. The Chinese used passive hot water circulation in their bathhouses during the Tang dynasty, over 1,300 years ago. In Europe, thermosyphon water heating was standard in homes with wood stoves and coal stoves throughout the 1800s. Every farmhouse in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria had a version of this system. When our families came to Pennsylvania and Ohio in the 1700s and 1800s, they brought it with them. We never stopped using it. In 1889, a man named Edwin Rood patented the first automatic storage water heater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gas-fired, self-contained, no stove required. By the 1940s and 1950s, electric and gas water heaters became the standard in every new American home. The builders wanted speed. The manufacturers wanted sales. The utility companies wanted monthly customers. A thermosyphon system connected to a wood stove does not generate a monthly bill. It does not require a gas line. It does not need a service contract. It does not break down and need replacing every 12 years. Every home that kept its range boiler was a customer lost to 3 industries at once: the water heater manufacturers, the gas companies, the electric utilities. The range boiler disappeared from American homes within a single generation, not because it failed, because it did not generate recurring revenue. And here is what happened next. Plumbing codes were rewritten in the 1950s and 1960s around manufactured appliances. Try submitting a building plan today that specifies a thermosyphon water heating loop connected to a wood stove. There is no provision for it. There is no approved installation method. There is no box on the inspector's form. Not because it is dangerous, not because it does not work, because the code was written by people who sell water heaters. The form does not have a line for a system that costs $11 and never sends you a bill. The water heater industry generates $4.7 billion a year in the United States alone. Every thermosyphon loop installed is a water heater that never gets sold, a gas line that never gets run, an electric circuit that never gets wired, a monthly bill that never gets paid. You do the math. Now, if you already own a house and you are thinking this does not apply to you, stay with me, because this next part is specifically for you. You do not need to tear anything out. You do not need to disconnect your existing water heater. You do not need a plumber. Here is what you need: a wood stove or wood cook stove. If you already have one in your home, you are halfway there. Many wood cook stoves, especially the ones our community builds, come with knockouts in the back panel specifically designed for a water coil. You can order the stove with the coil already installed. The water coil is a loop of copper or stainless steel pipe that sits inside the firebox. Cold water enters one end. The fire heats it. Hot water exits the other end. You connect those two ends to a storage tank mounted above the stove. The tank can be a purpose-built range boiler, or it can be a standard insulated water heater tank with the electrical or gas components disconnected. You need 2 runs of copper or stainless pipe, 3/4 inch or 1 inch diameter. You need a brass check valve to prevent reverse flow. That valve costs $11. You need basic plumbing fittings: pipe, elbows, unions. Total materials cost $40 to $80, depending on the length of your pipe runs and whether you already have a tank. The tank must be mounted higher than the coil. This is not optional. Gravity drives the system. Hot water rises. If the tank is below the stove, the loop will not circulate. Most people mount the tank on a stand or a shelf within a few feet of the stove, 2 to 4 feet above the firebox. The higher the tank relative to the coil, the stronger the circulation. One safety note: you need a temperature and pressure relief valve on the tank. This is the same valve that is already on your existing water heater. It is a standard plumbing safety device. If the water gets too hot or the pressure builds too high, the valve opens and releases. This is non-negotiable. Every thermosyphon system must have one. They cost $8 to $15. A family I know in Holmes County has run this exact system for 22 years. The man built it himself in one weekend. His total cost in materials was $47. He has not paid a water heating bill since. He told me the hot water from his system is better than what he had before because the wood fire heats it slowly and evenly. No sudden temperature swings. No cold bursts in the middle of a shower. Just steady, reliable hot water every day from the same fire that keeps his family warm. Everything I have covered across this channel, the stove, the powder, the cooling system, and now this, is available in one place. The Amish home system, link in the description. But stay here because what I'm about to tell you is the part that most people get wrong. And getting it wrong is the difference between a system that works for 30 years and one that fails in 30 days. Here is the detail that matters most: the pipe diameter and the rise. Most people who try to build this system use pipe that is too narrow. They use half-inch copper because it is cheaper and easier to bend. Half-inch pipe restricts the flow. The thermosyphon effect depends on the temperature difference between the hot water rising and the cold water falling. If the pipe is too narrow, the friction slows the circulation until the water in the coil overheats and the pressure builds. That is when problems happen. Use 3/4 inch minimum. 1 inch is better. Smooth interior walls, no corrugation, no sharp bends. Every elbow adds resistance. Use sweeping 90-degree bends instead of tight fittings wherever you can. And make sure the rise from the top of the coil to the inlet of the tank is as direct and vertical as possible. The straighter the rise, the stronger the pull. My grandfather taught my father this. My father taught me. You can feel it when the system is right. You put your hand on the return pipe, the one bringing cold water back to the coil, and you feel it pulling. A steady, quiet draw. No pump, no motor. Just gravity and heat doing what they have done since before anyone put a name on it. The Romans knew it. The Germans knew it. The Swiss knew it. Every American farmhouse knew it before 1950. We never stopped knowing it. We never stopped building it. And our water has been hot every single day for 200 years without a single check written to a utility company. The jar of fossil powder I showed you last time costs $8. This valve costs $11. Your water heater costs $600 a year and needs replacing every 12 years. I will let you decide which system makes more sense. Drop your state in the comments and tell me what you pay for hot water every month. Gas or electric? I want to hear the number. And if your house already has a wood stove, tell me the brand and the model, because I can tell you whether it has the knockouts for a water coil or not. That one answer could save you $600 a year starting this winter. If you are the kind of person who believes that real practical knowledge has been quietly pushed aside to protect someone else's profit, you already know what to do next. Hit subscribe, not for me, for what comes next. Because in the next video, I am going to show you what we do with wood ash that eliminates the need for one of the most expensive products in your bathroom. And the company memo from 1993 that proves the manufacturer knew their product was unnecessary the entire time. You do not want to miss that.